Action, activate! Oh my gosh.
Here we come, there they go. Evil runs, 'cause they know we're super soldiers. We got cool clothes. You will soon, when you see our pose. Tension, energize, mask on. Time to ride. Combine, grease ties.
Hi there, it's me, Gazbot. This is Action Activate, and if I'm Gazbot and this is Action Activate, then with me, as always, is this dog.
It is I, the big dog. I am back. Sorry for leaving partway through the end of the last review, but we aren't here to talk about the last review anymore.
Oh.
We've gone from the light to the hunter.
From 24 to 25. Yes. And last episode, you were saying how this episode made you appreciate the previous episode more. Do you care to elaborate?
Yeah, so we're just kind of going to jump around a little bit for this. So I didn't like the lack of rule explanation in the last episode, and they explained it a little more here. Not great, but the 10 new big bads have these weird set of rules they need to follow in order to defeat the Rangers. Some of them take the rules more seriously, some of them take the rules less seriously, but you have to do it for the balance of evil magic, whatever that means.
Balance of evil. Yeah, it is. It definitely seems like there's some real philosophy and structure behind it. It's not just like, we want to take over the world, we're evil. It's like, listen, this is serious. This is like our coda, and we're a civilization of evil, and there's a hierarchy. And what's up?
You know what I just realized? Why I'm frustrated about the magic related rules this season and you aren't?
Why?
They remind me of them doing their interpretation of the Force, but badly.
How does this remind you of like the Star Wars, the Force?
Yes, because some people on the dark side and some people on the light side are like, you have to follow these different philosophies to fall into these camps. And there's some people who are like, magic is magic, the Force is the Force. I just got to do with it as I will.
Right. Excuse me.
And
I don't
in Star Wars, I like that. And in this, I feel like it's not as well defined, and there's weird
that, though, because a big part of the Force is if you use the dark side, you become corrupted. There has been almost none of like, be careful with your magic, you'll get corrupted. When they were using it for selfish means and to be lazy, it's like, you guys are being lazy. You got to try harder. It wasn't like you might go to the dark side. There's never been a danger of them being corrupted.
You're getting lost in the sauce on that. I mean it more for the established bad guys already.
That, okay.
Like for these set of rules, they're like, you have to have the balance. You have to do this. Whereas like, who's the big bad with the fan who just got obliterated, who used to be a good guy? Yeah, that guy. Like he was his own little camp. He's like, I'm going to do me, and I use magic. Fine. Totally cool with that. These 10 big bads are like, you mostly have to go with it unless you don't like it, and balance and the master.
This is where, again, the whole Star Wars thing, I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. Other than the fact there's good magic and bad magic, I guess, but that's like everything, you know.
Everybody has this weird code that like is vaguely established, but
you don't all have this weird code. Even with, like you just said, like Immortus didn't have it, and you know, they all have different versions.
He's the only person you can name that doesn't have it.
No. What's her name? The vampire girl doesn't give a crap about any of this stuff, and all the other monsters of the weeks and generals didn't care about any of this. And then Korag had his own code of honor that had nothing to do with rules of magic. He just had a code of honor.
But I don't think any of the monsters of the week dealt with magic.
What I'm getting at is this is really the first we've really heard about these rules. Previous to this, we had not heard about this. So it might just apply to these 10. I'm not saying it's not inconsistent, and I'm not saying it's the best thing ever, but you're saying like it's like the Force, it's like Star Wars. I don't see that at all.
Udana used dark magic, and now she doesn't have magic.
Right. She didn't turn evil.
Because instead of getting corrupted, she just lost her connection to it.
I feel like you're like Ninja Steel, but no, not.
I'm not throwing the hands, but I'm just saying. Anywho, this episode, I'm curious if you'll think this is a hot take. So everybody's at work. I'm going to say at work, and no one's working.
Correct.
Nick gets the employee of the month because, I mean, you're just king of the losers.
Well, last episode it ended. The whole episode, the B plot of the or the C plot, I guess, of their jobs was you guys are never here. Again, you're never here. You're terrible. I'm hiring somebody new. Next episode, Nick, you're the best. Here's an award, buddy.
Yep.
What?
Inconsistent there. But what I really don't like is how just terrible they are to Necrolize's daughter.
Why?
Because they've shown that they've given second chances to people before. They've trusted blindly on new people they've met. And to be honest, she didn't really wrong them that bad.
I was trying to think about this. They don't trust her because she's connected to an evil character that has tried to take over the world, has hurt them, has corrupted Nick's father, or worked with the corrupted version of Nick's father. That's enough to be like, whoa, I don't know if we should trust her. They know she's not a human. The one thing I could think tangibly that she did or was there for when they were down in the underworld area and their powers were getting siphoned, she's like, oh boy, can I keep them as pets? This sounds great. So while she wasn't directly doing it to them, she was certainly there as an accessory. It's like she's like the friend, like the bank's being robbed, and they're like, this is kind of terrible, but can I have some of the money as long as I'm here? Like, you know.
Yeah, I think also, though, and they touch upon this at the end where she's one of the more redeemable characters this episode, is that she could she hasn't shown any reason so far to wrong them. They're being rude to her when she has a huge secret on all 5 of them. Worst case, she goes somewhere else. Best case, I don't know what their best case is, but they're all terrible to her.
Well, so are you thinking that they should be better people and be nice to her? Or are you saying they should be more strategic and be nice to her so she doesn't blow up their secret?
I think all 5 of them acting the exact same way is out of character for at least some of them.
I mean, I can kind of agree with that, but also I'm like, it's fine because they literally were fighting her and her mother and all of their cohorts for the end of the world like an episode ago.
I think blue and or yellow could have been like, hey guys, maybe we're being a little too harsh on her considering these reasons.
I think that's the next episode. I think after they see how they worked her to the bone and she's really trying to do a good job, I think the next episode the B plot should be like, you know what? We should give her a chance.
They double down at the end, though, being rude to her. In the if you do it in the beginning and then by the end they're cool with her, it's another, we're terrible, we learned our lesson again. But like this whole episode, they even established, because she brings it up, of like, hey, I'll keep your secret if you keep mine, because Nick's almost like, her mother's an evil monster. It was like, how do you, like, can't do that.
How would you know that? Like, that's such a weird.
One of the primary plots of this episode is that they're gone all the time. Their boss finally noticed and called them out on it, and they're like, "We're still gone." And now they're gonna go, but we hate this new person, and we're gonna be mean to her because, oh yeah, she knows our whole secret, and we're still gonna be mean to her because there's no repercussions from that.
I agree that it is bad strategy, but I'm not saying it's completely inconsistent with character. I think that they should give her a chance to get redeemed because they're Power Rangers and they're supposed to be heroes and all that. But their initial reaction of being like, what the heck, this evil person is undercover here at the shop. This is wild. This is not okay. But I agree with you that strategically it's foolish to be like, all right, well, we're going to leave her here and just make her do all our work.
Isn't this the episode where like they literally are mean to her and then leave, and she's like, okay, I'm going to keep working. And they're like, we have to go.
And I'm saying that makes no sense strategically. Like them not trusting her makes sense. Them being like, we don't trust you, but we trust you to stay here and do all our jobs without being supervised. Goodbye. That makes sense. One of them should have stayed behind.
Like I said, I think green or not green. Sorry. I think yellow or blue. I expected one of them to be the voice of reason, and neither of them were, which I fall into inconsistency of their character.
Okay. Well, we're 2 minutes in and we spent 9 minutes talking about it.
Wonderful. Here are the big monsters who apparently can nuke everybody but won't.
Another one of the rules is this orb chooses one of them to be like the avatar of their will or whatever.
Sure.
And so most of them are like, okay, fine, whatever. And the one's like, I've been chosen. But then this other guy, the bighorn guy, is like, oh, that's not okay. And then the lizard one, who also looks cool, is like, we're governed by the rules. If you break them, the consequence could be, and it's sort of like telling us that they'll be disastrous. And Megahorn's like, yeah, I don't believe in that stuff. So I'm going to do whatever the heck I want. But I got a commercial, so let me get out of here.
Yeah, they established the rules more this episode, but I still think like there's this weird. I hate how they established how strong they were so early, because then all of these, it's like all 10 of us could instantly beat you, and we already intervened with you. Now one of us can wreck you, but I made this rule and I'm dumb. And then this episode, another guy makes a rule, and then he gets beat by actual power, which we're like, okay, power creep, sure.
Yeah, I was saying I was annoyed, and we're skipping ahead. There's this whole thing with Fireheart, and okay, whatever.
You have to use your heart. Oh, he meant the dragon. He didn't mean my heart. That's the organ of my body pumping blood through it. Oh, silly me. I should have read between the lines and used
that, and then, but like just by coincidence. But meanwhile, Donna's out here camping, and the person who was following her was Claire, and she starts a fire with her magic, which is like the first successful magic we've seen her do, other than when she was like super powerful.
And also, this whole scene was frustrating because Claire just makes perfect sense, and Udonna's like, "No, I need to go alone because like, I need to, get reacquainted with my long lost husband, and no one else should be there for it. There's no other reason that no one should be here."
Hold the old, like, you're my apprentice. She's like, I'm not your apprentice anymore. I'm the wizard, the sorceress now. And she's like,
also, don't you recall? I'm the chosen one of this wall that we don't talk about or something. I have these reincarnated powers, something. I'm really powerful, but we don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah, that should come back again. There's a lot of things that like are frustrating, but will be redeemable if they come back to around to them at the end. I'll say that, and that's one of them.
I'm waiting for them to not, and it's just both be like, so I guess Claire was cool for 3 episodes. Yeah.
Well, it's the beginning of a redemption arc in terms of magical prowess, where she's like out on her own, whatever. But
see, like right here, they're like, oh, grumble, rude thing. Take this garbage while I run away.
Right. And I take this, it's not showing them in the best light, but it's also establishing that she really is there to do the job and try to make friends. Like, because otherwise she would just like half-ass it and not really try. Yeah. This guy, all these terrors have cool designs. I don't think there's any I don't like. Even the fish guy is kind of goofy, but I don't mind it.
This guy, I like his design as a ranger villain. I don't like it as a ranger villain this season.
It doesn't really fit a lot of the other.
This is very RPM, Beast Morphers kind of vibes, Lightspeed maybe.
Yeah, it's almost Kamen Rider-esque in a way.
Yeah, he doesn't look ancient at all.
No, and I was thinking a lot of them were like based on like monsters. He's supposed to be well, it says Oculus, so I assume he's like a Cyclops, but it's like such a departure from what. Oh, I just realized he's got one eye, but his whole body is another eye. Like he's got a green dot on his chest there, and then his little things make an eye. I mean, that's got to be intentional because designs in these kind of shows are very intentional. But I agree, he doesn't quite match the others, but I guess he's supposed to be Cyclops. That's like the monster connection, I guess.
Sure. He looks too modern. He looks too technological
or bioorganic, Guyvery something.
Yeah. See, like that. What is that thing?
That's the back of the eye. Like on the front, it looks like an eye. On the back, I don't know what it is.
No, with the weird like wing flap things he has. What are those?
Look at him on the front.
I see what you're saying now. I don't like it. I think he looks like a robot.
Well, that's fine if you think it looks like a robot. But you see what I'm saying about I can't find a shot.
And then this whole episode is them trying not to get sniped, and then they get sniped.
Well, yeah, because they don't realize he's in another dimension. I will say I didn't like that it was another weird self-imposed games of rules. I did like that it was a different sort of battle where he's in this other dimension sniping at him. It's like it wasn't just the same sort of battle you always see, and I always give him credit for that kind of stuff.
I did like how they're like, he must be in a different dimension, still loses.
Well,
like all of them are like, I think I figured it out. I know the cause, I just don't know how to do anything about it.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I like that too, because how would they know what to do about it?
Yeah. Again, this goes back to there's no reason he should have lost.
Correct. Well, at that point, correct.
Well, no, the only reason before is because he got duped.
Well, no, because Nick gets powered up.
Yeah, because Nick said, I surrender, and he's like, ha ha ha, and then he's like, I don't surrender. And he's like, but you lied. I know I did. And it's like,
well, Nick's a liar, but if Nick had lied and not gotten the Fireheart power up, it wouldn't have mattered that he lied.
But he also, this is a very much how it should have ended. Hey, I'm here to surrender. All right, surrender. I don't surrender. Boom. Okay, you're done.
Right. I'm saying if Nick didn't get that power up, none of that would have mattered. Nick only won because of the power up.
I agree that he won because of the power up. I think there were many missed opportunities of him getting sniped in person versus from the other dimension.
He could have taken him out at any point. Again, this is his own weird self-imposed rules. But even with those rules, he still would have won. Also,
I think that red piranha dude, I think his suit is up for auction.
Probably all these suits are up for auction. I looked at
all of them. Not all of them.
A couple days before Halloween. You're right, not all of them. And there are still full suits that haven't been bid on yet. It's wild.
Shh, don't tell the secrets.
There's so many. Anybody that has enough money to bid on all these stuff, good for them. Because like if they were at like $1, $10 or whatever, I'd bid on everything. But they're all at 500, so it's like even if you have $500, that's one thing you could bid on.
But again, curious to see how that goes. Those in the future, you already know.
Yeah. I do like this little Genji training session just for fun because I like Genji. But now here comes One Horn. Yeah, there or Mega Horn. What's his name? It's not One Horn.
He looks like a Wild Force villain.
I can see that.
Yeah.
He also looks like a Ultraman villain or like a
very much
a kaiju that would fight Gamera or something like.
Yeah. He this fight occurred.
This fight did occur.
It happened again. It's another one of those where I'm like, you clearly have him beat, and then why did he not lose? Because of honor.
Because because of honor, yes, quote unquote. But because the other one came in, it was like, you can't do this. You're gonna ruin everything. And it's like, all right. And this is where I say the last episode, despite what you said, did talk about the rules a bit. This one talked about it a lot more. And I feel like what I want to happen is by the next episode, they explain it even more and like really make it clear what's going on.
Yeah, I think the problem I'm having. Oh, go for it.
Well, I feel like they're gonna keep it just vague enough so they can do whatever they want and say it's the rules later.
The thing that frustrates me is for something I actually want to know, they won't tell me. For things that I'm like, oh, Nick's their kid, they throw it at your face until they say you're the kid. It's like, yeah, I know you told us 4 different times already. Yeah. Like they have a weird trust in the audience and then a weird distrust in the audience for certain pieces of information that's inconsistent.
Part of it is like where they think the interest lies, I guess.
I don't know.
What they think we will find interesting.
I just need another lore dump from Phineas.
Well, we're going to get that. Don't worry. But so basically they bring Megahorn back and they're like, you can't be doing this because of rules. And we're going to banish you if you try anything like that again. And so, yeah, that's the only reason. I forgot he went in his ancient mode, but he's still lost in his ancient mode.
So no, he one-tapped him in his ancient mode, I thought.
Wait, did he? Hold on. Now I'm not remembering.
Yeah, he turned into his ancient mode, which, again, we haven't established the power creep on that. If it's stronger, weaker, the same, who knows? But, yeah, he look at that. He doesn't get blown up because he transforms. Sure, weird MacGuffin, but okay. And then he launches it back at the guy.
You're right. I forgot about that. I thought that was because the other villain had like teleported him or something. I didn't think he actually.
So he's not dead, but he like.
Oh no, he doesn't. He says now that you're all powered up, will be even more fun. He doesn't beat him. He's gonna send you back. He took the shot, and then he's gonna. I'm hoping we don't get a copyright for this. And then he goes to blast him, and the only reason he didn't get stopped is because.
Okay, you get the point. Right. Stop trying to get us a copyright strike and just.
Because I'm like, I remember it happening this way. I just watched it.
That's fine. This one I think is going to turn. This one's going to turn on the other 10.
But for clarification, Solaris Knight was outmatched still in his ultimate mode. Didn't matter, and the only reason he survived was because of the intervention of the.
Every single time they've been outmatched. That's why I don't get any of this. Also. I know this is a like behind the scenes thing. There is zero reason that they should be hiding behind trees in the woods unmorphed.
Agreed. Oh wait, no, didn't they get I think it was like they got knocked out of their morph form. Let me go back.
I don't believe they did. I think Blue got hit and they ran away. Yeah, Blue got hit and they ran away.
You're right. Yep, you're right.
I don't want to. I'm trying not to be as harsh on this season as I've been. It's just really difficult sometimes.
Well, I also think it suffers from like I feel like these later episodes are definitely better than a lot of the stuff we got earlier. And they're not perfect, and your gripes aren't necessarily completely unfounded. But I feel like if the whole thing had been kind of this good, you'd be less hard on it. But I feel like it was not as good, and it got better, but it's just not quite getting as good as you want. And you're remembering all that bad stuff, and why isn't this better? Like, I feel like it all is mixed together, and why you're frustrated.
There's only a handful of episodes I think I genuinely liked. Everything else has been fine or passable, but like I haven't been really excited about an episode in a while, I don't think. Unless 2 episodes ago I said it and I don't remember because it was like a month ago.
Well, so anyway, this is the part where he lies. Well, I don't know if he's lying at the time. He's like, I'll give up. I won't even fight and finish. He's like, no, come here. Gotta see him.
Oh, yeah, this part was... Nick frustrates me. So, like, Phineas saved him from getting sniped. And he's like, what are you doing? And Phineas, I don't think he actually said it, but he's like, I literally just, like, saved you. Like, what are you doing?
I think he does say something along those lines. I think he says, like, saving the light or saving all of us. Or something. I should have known as soon as I finished. Good to see you, too. I just saved the light again. Yeah, I just saved the light again because he saved the light when he was a baby. So he's sticking up for himself a little bit. But he's
and then I love this part where Nick's like, wait a minute, I'm lying. It's like, pretty sure he told you that last episode.
Yes. Yeah.
I think all of us told you that. And I don't know why this is news to you. Okay, this part, I know it doesn't bother you. I didn't even ask you, but I know it doesn't bother you. I'm getting real frustrated that they instantly know how to go into their upgrade modes, and I don't like it.
You know what it is? It's of all the things to bother me, that's not high on the list. And because it's a magic season, it bothers me less because it's magic. You know, that's fine, magic, you know.
I don't like it. I got annoyed. The first time it still annoyed me, but I let it go more. This time, this is what pissed me off. Okay. So I think
the dragon, Fireheart.
No, he has this weird morpher that we don't explain that is Solaris Knight's morpher, but with a dragon on it.
Hold on. I thought that was just his staff.
No. When he's mid-transformation, you see, because I have the toy of it, it's the little clicker for the train, but it has a little dragon head on it now.
All right. I will take a look. I got to wait for this ad to play, and we'll take a look.
I know. Which, again, if you explain it, I don't have a problem with it. But it's just kind of there to maybe sell a toy, but like, dude, what are you guys doing?
Before or after this?
I think it's after this, so you'll see in a sec. He does his backflip and he has it in his hand and he does a little click into nothing, and like it's mid-transformation because all these people show up. Very classic Battleizer episode. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we've never seen so many people with one Ranger, and it's like, oh yeah, guess what? It's not yet because it's not yet. Man. You're gonna get us a copyright strike. Please stop.
Well, I'm trying to find it.
No. I'll tell you when. Just trust me.
I thought it was when he transformed.
Yeah, he hasn't transformed yet. He rides around.
He merges with him. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Now, okay, it's going to be during this.
I just realized I have a figure I got from Mystic Force out of like a dollar bin years ago of this version.
Yep.
And it has this weird thing where the face has like a silver face. And I thought it was like another mode, but I'm realizing now it's just like for half a second. Where is it? For half a second, his face turns silver right there. But that's like one of the faces you could have. Like, why would you display it with that? Whatever. Okay, so this is the new mode.
It's in the beginning of the transformation. Oh, I know. He has it in his hand.
You're telling me not to play, but I have to because, like, when
I know. If we're gonna do it, we got to do it for the right reason. Okay, wait.
There it is.
There. Okay. Why?
He got that off of Fireheart, like where the main is. It was just like, there it is. It's like the controller for me. We're bonded now.
But it's very clearly the same thing.
They didn't explain it. I'm making up my own headcanon for where it came from. Why does it look the same? That doesn't really bother me. I mean, it's all shared technology within this like mystic connection to the morphing grid. Why wouldn't it be similar?
Stop trying to argue this away and just admit it doesn't make sense why he has it. I
think the fact that he gets this out of nowhere is a better complaint than the fact that it looks like Solaris Knights.
Both complaints are valid.
Both complaints.
To me, I think because he clicks it same way. Very simple thing of like,
what do you think of this mode?
It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. I thought it was cool. I thought the like a screama stick kind of angle he has is cool. I also like how what is
that thing called?
A screama is a Filipino stick fighting art. It's like what Nightwing uses. He uses a screama sticks. So I like that because I'm a big Nightwing fan.
Right.
But also, like, we don't see blunt weapons a lot for battleizers, which I appreciated. And he did shoot a little magic out of them, which was kind of cool. Like,
I would
they're
say
big
they're
old
blunt, but
wands.
there's like lightning and fire and stuff coming at them, so they're still projectile.
I was surprised it didn't turn into a staff at all. Not a complaint, just surprised the way it looks because they're both different pieces.
Right. Maybe that'll come into play at like next episode or another episode.
Maybe.
This fight was ridiculous but fun. It was like over the top and fun.
This was my favorite part of the last 2 episodes.
I do like this design. It's not my favorite battleizer. It's not my favorite power up of all time, but I like it better than what's the other mode in between? Legendary or whatever they're calling it?
Legendary mode.
I like it better than that. I think it's a better power up look than that. And they do. It's nice that the Terror is polite enough to wait for him to wipe out every other villain. He's like, well, I guess now I'll fight you. But I am waiting for them to nerf it because he is just like, oh, let me just shoot laser, fire and lightning and just wipe out hundreds of people. And like, it's not going to stay that powerful. Like he's flying everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest part with the wings.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's cool. I think in terms of Disney era seasons, it's probably better than the Dino Thunder one. I don't think it's better than that. It has the extendo arms and he has a little shield and the little,
the Dino Thunder one is like possibly my least favorite of all.
Yeah, I know. It's goofy. Because Dino Thunder has so many other more conventional power-up modes that are cooler.
Well, it's also got weird power-up modes like the spikes, like the big old spiky things, which I don't love, but like they're not conventional. That's different. You know?
I think the Battleizer was American exclusive. Like Triassic was their version of it in the show,
right?
With the shield sword thing, and then this other version that's goofy was American only. And like, oh yeah, I could see that one being American only.
Which is weird. Do you think they would have done something easier for the toy? Like, let's make them get gold arms and a new helmet or something.
Yeah.
You know, like
the SPD one is so good that Sentai adopted it.
Really?
Yeah. I found that out recently.
What was the battleizer from SPD? I'm trying to remember.
It was Rick, but I forget what they called it.
Oh, the dog like morphed onto that.
Yeah.
Did they put that in like an SPD movie later on or something?
Yeah, a Deca Ranger movie they did.
That's cool because I know obviously the show would have come out first. That's really cool.
Yeah. So that one I would argue is the best.
I also
Casey's is whatever.
Yeah, well, Casey's is just like I'm on a motorcycle. Like
but anyways, we're getting off track. This one's cool.
I did like that it was on a lakefront, that fight too, just because it's something different than we usually see.
Flying around the water. It was a cool little effect. Who are we back in the woods with? Nick's just back post.
Hey, look, there he is. Hey, over here. And it's just sort of like, they all came back from their like sniping.
Oh yeah, they appeared.
And then here, Horn broke the rules. It's a wonder we haven't all been banished. So that's what happened. If anyone breaks the rules again, they're going to get banished. And so now we go back to the store. Yeah. I said these are some lawful evil villains. That's what I said. And
before you go to that, so this, I like that they explain it more. It still doesn't make any sense, their introduction.
No, it's not enough. And I fear that this will be the end of it because they want to keep it vague. But if they have the next episode, I want them to be nice to Lily and make the rules be more clear. And
is that her name, Lily?
I thought it was Lily. If it's not, it's something similar. It starts with an L for sure.
Okay.
I'm going to be nice to her, explain the rules more fully, and defeat one of the monsters without the monster having to be like tricked in some. Well, I guess now Nick has the power up, so he can defeat him. I don't know what.
I don't know. I don't even need them to be nice to her. I need them to not be like outright rude to her.
Well, when I say nice, I mean like acknowledge that they could give her another chance or be more open-minded.
Cordial.
Sure, fine.
Yeah.
But they get back, and she had been doing all the work, and she looks all wrecked.
Why is she in heels, by the way?
Because she's never had a real job, and she doesn't know what practical footwear is.
That's fair. Ninja Steel point to you.
Thank you. But I do like that he's like, you know what? You deserve this more than Nick. So like it says Lily here, but
more work in one day than any of them have done.
Yeah.
See this to me, I'm like, I don't know why you guys are surprised. I would take the win, but whatever.
Yeah. If they can come and go as they please, she does all the work, but they get. And do you really think he wants that big, weird, glued together trophy on top of a guitar he can't play? What are you gonna do with it? And they don't get to keep it. You just keep it for a month because it moves around every month. So like, yeah, let her have it.
Everything about it is just
And the end. So that's we're getting close to the end. I think there's only like 8 episodes left, 10 episodes left.
I'm gonna double check while we're talking because I am curious as well.
I actually have I thought I had it open here. You double check it yourself. But yeah, so I don't remember
are
but that was 25, I believe. That was the 25th episode. So like 12 hours, maybe 11 and a half hours we've watched of this show so far. I definitely am liking it more than you.
Yeah.
But inconsistency is a good way to describe it.
There are 32 episodes.
So 7 more. Until then, I've been Gazbot.
I'm the big dog filibustering. I definitely think, again, I want there to be some higher highs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding out hope that I'm gonna say I objectively like an episode or two, but right now, I mean,
you've liked some episodes.
I didn't say it didn't. I said I don't remember the last time I said I objectively liked an episode.
You just said I'm holding out hope that I will objectively. Oh, you mean for the remaining episodes?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And to the power. See you guys later.
Oh, you did it. That's you filibuster.
Yeah. So secret over the credits talk. Are there any things in that auction that you were looking at that you're like maybe, and now that they have certain amount of bids, you're like definitely not?
SPD Orange helmet. I think I don't know what it's at now. I know it was at like 2,000 at some point. And
Yeah,
that was
roughly
amazing.
that.
Probably a few other things.
Some of the Dino Thunder helmets, I was like, oh, bummer.
That was the only helmet I remember, but I think there were a few like suits that weren't like my top picks. But I'm like, well, for 500, could I pull 500? And it's like, oh no, now it's not that, so it doesn't matter.
There's a couple of those, but I'm going to keep those under wraps for a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Turtle news. I got this Triceraton a while ago and opened it
recently.
Like it? I do. I thought it was more or less a repaint of the General Zog one, or Zog. I think no, it's completely different. It's not even like I thought it was just a different head, and I'm like, oh, I'm really glad I got this. And I haven't seen it in a store since I got it.
I've seen a lot of them, but yeah.
Oh, I guess it's just by me. But like I got it, like I think I saw it twice, and I bought it the second time, and I haven't seen it since. But yeah, I got a lot of my toys over here keep rotating. Like I'm doing a good job of opening.
I have speaking of rotating toy, I have Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. He is a phenomenal figure.
You know what I know about Demon Slayer? That there's a specific way he pulls his sword out that a Power Rangers fan film referenced, because you told me that when we were reviewing it.
Oh yeah, I think it was Zenitsu, but yeah, toys. I don't know.
If anybody, if anybody's still watching this, if anybody is dying for us to get back to Go Lose a Ranger, say something, because we did plan on finishing that up, but nobody seems to care.
Including us to an extent. What I will say is, if there's any fan films or fan series that you guys are interested in us reviewing, that we are very interested in hearing, because there's a few we have on the rough docket. We never really have a full docket. Let's be honest.
This is really where we want to put this stuff.
Right here
after the credits.
Exactly. Yeah. Who knows?
I have heard there's this Red Ranger fan film, like off-brand, that basically has been reviewed by a bunch of people. Like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
It's on Tubi, apparently.
Do you even need to review it? Everyone's reviewed it and said it's terrible. What could we add to that?
I don't know.
I'm in the recording.
Play it by ear.